Well, hello and welcome to the next Daily Dominion. And today I'm super excited to show you this kingdom as it seems incredibly interesting. I'm not really sure how I'm going to play this, to be honest. I haven't had time to practice or to load it up in a different kingdom. So it's my first playthrough. And yeah, it looks like just a lot is going on. There we have continue, we have journey, we have Tanuki, we have sea charge, stowaway stuff. There's rice broker, also for trashing. Yeah, just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I'm excited to get into this one. And actually, let me pause the video for a sec. And I'm back because I just wanted to close a few things on my computer because it seems to be quite busy with the many things I had opened. Anyways, I hope this is a bit better now for it. Yeah, we have this exciting kingdom. And as always, I will first introduce you to the cards and landscapes. If you're not interested in that because you know of all of them by heart, feel free to skip to the next timestamp as always. So we have Fishing Village. Fishing Village says +2 actions now and also a coin now. So about as good as the Necropolis with a coin slapped on it. But it's also a duration card, and at the start of your next turn, it also gives you an action and a coin. So it's like a spread out silver, a bit like Lighthouse, but it has this village function where it gives you this two actions this turn and one extra action next turn. And yeah, fishing villages are pretty pleasant and nice. We then have Sea Chart. +1 card, +1 action, reveal the top card of your deck. If you have a copy of it in play, put it into your hand. And Sea Chart really synergizes with stuff like Journey or Continue. We'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, essentially whenever you get to put your treasures into play as early as possible, and Sea Charts can grab those as well. So yeah, they're really nice. Stowaway. At the start of your next turn, +2 cards. And then when anyone gains a duration card, you may play this from your hand. Also here we have Fishing Village, Stowaway, and Abundance as duration cards, which are all rather likely to be gained, so you might be able to play a Stowaway for free. And that is nice. We have Abundance. The next time you gain an action card, +1 buy, +3 coins. Also a gold variant essentially, but it requires you to first gain an action during your turn to activate it. But otherwise you just leave them in play, which also synergizes with sea charts, I guess. Crucible is a trasher, trashing a card from your hand, +1 coin per 1 coin it costs. So if you trash an estate, you get 2 coins. If you trash a copper, you don't get anything. If you trash a rice broker, you get 5. And if you trash a province, you get 8. Crucible is rather okay trasher. Of course, it doesn't like to see those coppers. Fortune Hunter, +2 coins. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play a treasure from them. Put the rest back in any order. And I don't think we're going to go for this one that much here, but it also synergizes with Sea Chart somewhat. First Mate, play any number of action cards with the same name from your hand, then draw until you have 6 cards in hand. And this one is a nice village and draw variant if you have a lean deck without many treasures, and if you may have a bunch of similarly named actions like Fishing Village or Sea Charts. And it's usually a weird mixture of village and draw. It also synergizes well with Tanuki. Tanuki says trash a card from your hand, gain a card costing up to 2 more than it, so essentially you lower your hand size by playing a Tanuki. And also Tanuki is a shadow card from Rising Sun, and that means that you can play this from your deck as if in your hand. And that also means that if it's in our deck, and it ensures that it's like usually not in our hand, because when we shuffle it in, it gets shuffled to the bottom of our deck. That essentially means that it's an extra card, and since we can play them as if they are in our hand, we can play First Mate and then play as many Tanukis from the bottom of our deck as we want, and then draw up to 6 cards afterwards. So really nice, but I'm not sure how practical that is, to be honest. it kind of depends on how the game goes, I guess. Rice Broker, +1 action, and then trash a card from your hand. If it's a treasure, +2 cards. If it's an action, +5 cards. Very pleasant treasure, not great to trash estates, but it synergizes nicely with stuff like Crucible or Tanuki, who like to trash estates, whereas the Rice Broker likes to get rid of the coppers. Then we have Tea House, +1 Sun token, +1 card and +1 action, and also +2 coins. So card and action, 2 coins is super good, but by itself, of course, you want to pair it up with other strong stuff. And the +1 Sun means that after 5 tea houses have been played in this kingdom, the Good Harvest prophecy will trigger, and that means that the first time you play each differently named treasure each turn, first you get +1 buy and +1 coin. And from that point on, as soon as this triggers, of course, our treasures are going to be a bit heavier on the payload. Like the first copper we play is going to be +2 coins and +1 buy. The first silver, +3 coins, +1 buy, you get the idea. And with Abundance and Crucible being in the kingdom, they also get that +1 coin, +1 buy stamped onto them, at least for the first one we play. So these are the cards. Then we have two very, very strong events, like two of the strongest events in the game. So we have those paired up, and that means this one is going to be a doozy. We have Continue, saying once per turn, like it's even limited to once per turn because it's so strong. It costs 8 debt, so you can essentially buy it whenever, but you are going to be in debt for a bit. Once per turn, you gain a non-attack action card, costing up to 4. Return to your action phase, so from your buy phase, you just return to your action phase, and then you play the action card you just gained. Then you get +1 action and +1 buy. So you even can buy another card, because buying the event, of course, costs a buy. And yeah, Continue is super nice with terminal draw. Like, play a smithy, play your treasures, continue with another smithy, and you have another action available. But here there is no real terminal draw. Maybe, I guess, Stowaway, but it's not this turn draw. And First Mate also, yeah, I don't know. But nonetheless, Continue is going to be important to keep in mind. We have Journey, the other really strong event, saying for 4 coins and a buy, you can buy this really nice condition. You don't discard cards from play in cleanup this turn, but then you take another turn after this one, but not a third turn in a row. So you can't just journey and journey forever. You can only journey once during your turn, and then during the journey turn, buying journey doesn't do anything. But what this means is that, especially in junkier decks where you don't draw your deck, you for 4 coins and a buy, which are going to be very easy to get once the Good Harvest triggers, I think, you get to take essentially 1 extra turn. It does kind of anti-synergize with duration cards a bit, as duration cards, which would usually get out of play at the end of turn, so you can set up your next turn, do not get out of play, so you apparently you are likely to need, instead of just 2 of them, to have them played every other turn. You want 3 of them or 6 of them with the stowaways, whatever. But nonetheless, Journey really, really strong. Anyways, that was the discussion of the kingdom. 9 minutes. I'm being fast for given this kingdom is really complex. But yeah, what do we want to do in this kingdom? Let's look at the kingdom plot. We see that we have buys in abundance and Good Harvest. That's the most important thing to check, usually. Although here, well, I mean, here buys are really important with stuff like Journey, with stuff like Continue, even though Continue gives you buy back. But nonetheless, even without any cards that would give plus buy, this one would be a fast kingdom, because there is Tanuki, which is always a thing you should keep in mind, because it can turn provinces into provinces, lowering the timer it usually takes to end the game. And yeah, there's a bit of thinning in Crucible Rice Broker Tanuki, there's a bit of draw in Stowaway Sea Chart, and also Rice Broker, I guess, if you trash action cards. because if you trash treasures, it's not really net draw because you replace the rice broker and the copper, for example, in your hand with two other cards. But yeah, then we have a bit of village in fishing village and continue. So all the tools you need for a well-oiled engine. However, yeah, there's no attack card to slow down your opponent. There's no alternate ways to gain victory points, and thus it's going to be a fast race for the provinces. So what are we going to try to do here? Well, I'm not super sure. Like journey, we're just going to go with the flow, trying to journey and continue whenever possible, and thin our deck a bit, but it's not as important to completely thin down with journey around. I don't think we want to buy continue all too often because the action cards that it's eligible for, like Fortune Hunter, Fishing Village, Sea Chart, Stowaway, are usually not that great. Maybe if we need the action. We are going to try to journey as often as possible and as often as possible and as often as feasible. I think whenever we are going to hit 4 and it makes sense to buy it, we are going to buy it apart from the opening. As for the opening, I'm also not really sure. I've prepared this. So on the 4-3, I think the best opening might be Crucible Silver. Why Silver? Well, Silver is really nice here to be able to afford Journey. Crucible, of course, to thin out the early estates. You could even argue to go double Silver or something like that, but or something weird like Silver Crucible on the 3-4, Silver Journey on the 3-4 to try to hit 5 on turn 2 somehow, but it's not that likely. Well, is it likely? Where you're going to have actually on the 3-4, if you open Silver Journey, you're going to shuffle 3 estates, 3 coppers, and the silver. So what's the probability of 2 estates bottom decking? I guess it's not that high, right? It's 1 out of, well, it's 3 out of 7 and then times 2 out of 6. So sorry for this. So it's 6 out of 7 times 6 is 42. You can, well, it's 1 in 7 that you are able to hit 5, right? I mean, I don't like doing maths on camera, I guess. I could be wrong, but yeah, opening silver silver journey just to hit 5 is not super great. I guess you could still do it and hope to hit 4 and then by the delay the crucible might be worth a shot, but 1 in 7 to hit 5 isn't great, unless of course my maths is wrong, which could very likely be. I didn't think about this that much. So the best opening here for sure should be the 5-2, in which case you can open Tanuki on turn 2. You can you should definitely play your coppers if you go for that route. You can then either continue for Sea Chart, or you could also continue, I'm just seeing this now, for Fortune Hunter. Both look very good. And in that case, then use the Tanuki that you've just shuffled in to, on turn 2, turn an estate into a Crucible and have a rather nice-ish turn 3. However, in this case, we have a 3-4. And on a 2-5, I think it's also a fine opening, just opening Tanuki to get rid of some of the estates. And yeah, so this would be my analysis for that. And I would say, without further ado, we start to dive into this game. Also, Fishing Village Silver could be a consideration, but I think having a bit more power on the spot with the silver is better. So fishing, AI goes for Fishing Village something. We hit 3 here, which is not great. I would have loved to hit 4 to at least be able to buy Journey. But we do hit 5 here, which is great. And we can buy Tanuki. Now here, what do we go for? This is not all too great. I hope we hit 4 next turn. So there's a consideration of playing the Tanuki now or later. I think just going for a Rice Broker here is good. Could also be a tea house because it's really nice to hit numbers, but let's go for the Rice Broker. Well, we do hit 5 here. If we trash this estate, we maybe should have played this Tanuki last turn, but we didn't get to do that. But if we journey now, the Tanuki will pair up with the other estate, and we even find the Rice Broker amazing, get a fishing village into play, and get to turn this into, let's say, Abundance, which is a duration card, could trigger AI Stowaway. I didn't track its deck. Yeah, it does, unfortunately, but yeah, we also get to put in a Stowaway, and then, yeah, I think we're pretty okay. Now here we just journey again. We can turn this silver into another Tanuki or a tea house. I think tea house is fine. Just journey again. Play this Rice Broker. Play the tea house. Can thin one more copper and get another fishing village. Or Stowaway or Sea Chart all look pretty good, pretty fine. Could also just be another silver. Actually, with good harvest coming up, I might like the silver. Yeah, not super sure about any of these decisions. There's a lot of good stuff to do. AI triggers good harvest, goes for a huge turn with continuous stuff, but also goes into debt. Now we, on the other hand, can also trigger, get some nice stuff off of the good harvest. The last card here is a copper. Is it? Like, what did we buy last turn? We, in the end, just bought a... Yeah, what does this want to be? I think we want a second Tanuki for sure. And in that case, we turn the Rice Broker into Tanuki and get rid of one more copper. Like, the Rice Broker really isn't that needed that much anymore. And since we gained the action card, the Abundance triggered from last turn, and what we could do now is could just gain a few abundances and put them into play for next turn. And actually, I like setting up the next turn a bit. Maybe. Okay, let me slow down a bit. Can we do this in a better way? I think we want to journey, and then Abundance Stowaway maybe will enable us to. No, actually, yeah, I'm very confused. Sorry, but if we go for Journey, Abundance, Stowaway, and then Estate, we can Tanuki the estate into something nice, right, on the journey turn. And so we have 5 cards here. We could even go for an extra copper to have a bit more buying power next turn, but I think this last card should be a copper. So yeah, let's just stop here. And our buys. Play the Stowaway. Get one more Abundance. Have 4 here, which we can use to just go for also Abundance, continue Sea Chart to draw 2 Abundances, put them in play, and get a Sea Chart on the way. This does leave us with the risk of not being able to buy an action card next turn and not hit Journey. No, but we can call one of the Tanukis. So yeah, I actually like this. So we get this C chart here, which draws us those two abundances. We put them into play for next turn. We are in a bit of debt, but it's okay. And now this turn we should be able to do some Tanuki remodeling of abundances into provinces. And AI's deck is also looking like it's doing a lot. Let's see. Are we going to want to continue? In that case, we shouldn't play this TC chart. But no, I think it's fine. We even draw something here. We get to, well, if we Tanuki this abundance, or actually this crucible into gold. Do we have enough? Yes, we have enough to buy a fishing village, trigger all of those abundances. I don't think we want to trigger the stowaway. We want to trigger it on the continue turn, right? On the journey turn. Decline this. And just buy province journey. Could also be a bit of more abundance journey. Decline this. Yeah, I think I like this. And then next turn, we have to draw to. I'm confused. Maybe there should be another stowaway on the next turn for the next turn, and then yeah, we can go for that. And we will draw all of this, and yeah, I think that's good. So now we get to put into play all of those good things. The Tanuki could even turn one of those fishing villages into something nicer, which should be maybe just a tea house. I'm really just playing this by ear a lot. So if we buy tea house, we can still afford a province, and then hopefully have a great next turn. AI doesn't have anything coming in, but AI does have a lot of buying power and a Tanuki. So yeah, let's see what it does. Plays all of those things and goes for 2 provinces. So now we're in scary territory, because now the game is about to end over the course of the next turns. So I think what we need to do here is, well, if we turn this into province, play all of those things, and journey here, we would need to get one more Tanuki and a province, and then hopefully on a journey turn, are we guaranteed to be able to win? Like 3 provinces is kind of hard. We do have 1 province and Tanuki lined up. I think we need to go for it, because if we don't, AI is going to do pretty much the same, and AI does have good things coming in. And yeah, this is kind of a gamble. So let's see what we can do here. I think we play the tea house. How much money is this? Just to check. 8. If we Tanuki 8 and then 2 abundances in play, we Tanuki the province into province, then we have another Tanuki in there. We only need to draw one of the provinces, so the province itself cannot bottom deck. Okay, this is scary. Well, I think we need to go for it. And we are out of actions. Shoot. Hmm, that's bad. Then I guess we need to go for it by playing this sea chart first and try to find the fishing village. There is no continuous stuff we can do to guarantee it, right? Ah, this is so close. Right, let's think about this for a bit more. If we um, no, we might have put ourselves into a bad corner. So we need to go for the sea chart stuff. And of course, it doesn't get that. So yeah, we just need to max scoring and hope for the best, I guess. But it's not looking great if we go for. So because the AI can mill one province and probably double province here, in which case it has 25 points. And if we go for the province, then we have. Okay, let me think through that. Um, then it can only double province. How much can we gain by getting this extra action card? We can get one more estate in. Hmm. Yeah, this is looking tight. Like, I think the AI might be able to win. It's really unfortunate we didn't get to do this stuff with the. What am I trying to tell you? It's really bad we didn't get to find the fishing village. Or maybe I'm also mistaken and there no. Oh, no, I am mistaken. There is no other fishing village in there. Yeah, I completely botched this. Still, let's go back to this part. If we say, oh, actually, is there a win? These last two cards are provinces. Wait, I'm stupid, right? We can, oh me, oh my. We can mill this province. Now buy province first, then continue sea chart, draw province, and remodel the last one. Holy. So go for a sea chart. Draw this province. Oh me, oh my. I didn't think we would win this after taking this risk. But I really think this was the way we needed to go. And wow, this was 10 turns. I'm really happy I found the win in the end. Even though I had this wrong notion of there being a fishing village in the bottom cards. And there were only provinces, so I could have even just counted points and not been stupid. But wow, what a kingdom. Like 10 turns is crazy. And I look at AI's hand. AI did have 2 copper, 2 tea houses, and a province, but also in its deck it had mainly tea houses. And with Journey, I'm sure it would have been able to at least mill one province and buy 2, with copper coming in for the plus buy. So it would have, yeah. I mean, we could have sat at the 7 province mark, at the 5 province mark, and just left them there. But I think it was the right decision to, sorry, to take the risk on this turn to gain the province. Okay, let me go back to when I had the win. I might post this as a find the win thing, but I mean it's not that um yeah, that impressive, I guess. So Where are we? Here, I think, was to find the win, right? Yeah, pretty easy actually. If you think about it, just go play the C chart, mill one province with the Tanuki you draw, then buy the province and continue. I think what threw me off was that was the continue thing, because I didn't think about continuing after buying the province just to regain the actions and draw one more province. So that was the tricky part. Yeah, really nice, really nice. I'm very happy we found this, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And with that, I will say I'll try to catch you in the next one, and goodbye.